Good day, everyone. This is Michael Oliveris from JurisQ.com, and we're back with a real estate attorney, commercial real estate attorney, Stephen Yuniver from the firm of Sinayskaya Yuniver. Stephen, welcome back.
Hi, Michael. It's good to be back. How are you?
How are you? It's a pleasure to have you. As you know, we invite different attorneys from different states, different practice areas to discuss topics that are educational in different types of law. And today I want to talk to you about a few topics. And one of them, I want to start off with, how does immigration law and real estate law intertwine? What do you have to look out for in the immigration arena? What have you seen out there?
So it's a great question. We've been experiencing quite a lot of it recently, and we don't do immigration law, but definitely work with you should work with an experienced immigration attorney that works specifically in investment type situations.
Right.
So I know there's L1 visas, EB5 visas, but that's on the immigration side, where you invest certain amounts of money into projects in the United States that are going to create jobs for U.S. citizens and residents, and you get audited by the immigration authorities to make sure those jobs are created, but you have then a path to citizenship, sometimes faster than any other way. So within, I believe, 2 years for one visa, 4 years with another. That I'm not 100% sure on, but there are certain levels. I think from my understanding, it's starting at 500,000 for one level. In a different level, it's 100,000. So it's a good way for people who live in the United States to get investors to build projects, because if you don't have enough money to build your project, you get investors from abroad to build real estate in the United States, and it's a win-win situation. They get legal status in the US, and you have a project that could potentially triple or quadruple your revenue instead of a small project that you could afford by yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing if you're a foreign national, you invest in the United States and you get immigration status.
Stephen, all valid points. I want your take on something. I've heard from some immigration attorneys that there's plenty of scams out there in US having to do with these EB5 funds where investors can invest money with a promise of getting a green card later. So I think it's important, Stephen, to hire a commercial real estate attorney like yourself to actually review the project, do the due diligence, check the title, and so on. What do you think? Is that a valid suggestion?
Well, I think experience is key, and I think it's important to have knowledge on what you're working with. And there are quite a bit of scams. And recently, I came up with a scam, but there was a scam that came across my desk. Clients of mine invested in a real estate project here. Before hiring me, signed an operating agreement. Unfortunately, the operating agreement kind of took away all of their rights, and then they were being scammed in the sense that they were asked for more money for a real estate project. They were asked for more money they didn't have to put in, otherwise the individual would not sponsor their immigration status anymore.
Wow.
It's a great avenue to get it and to do it, but you have to hire experienced attorneys to make sure you have a proper agreement that you're not going to get scammed out of the money that you invested, plus the immigration status and the hard and time work that you put into it. It's a lot of work, it's money, but you're able to get something great out of it.
Yeah, you know what, Steven, at some point we should do a whole presentation on what scams to watch out for, not just immigration, but in the real estate arena. I heard of a case where developers hire a contractor, give him money, but the contractor, for example, does not pay his contractors. And in the end, developers are stuck with a mechanics lien on their development project. And I'm sure there's plenty more pitfalls you can walk into especially if you're a novice builder, developer, and you don't have a good attorney on your side. What such attorney is you, Stephen?
Well, right, and we could talk about mechanics liens on another call, but those things could potentially ruin an entire project. Exactly. Even if they're fraudulent, they can last for years, and you're not able to sell, refinance. It could really hurt you, and it could hurt you even if you have a residential home. You want to make sure that all your contracts are written properly.
Yeah, Steve, we're gonna have a whole section on what scams to avoid, but thank you for painting us a broad picture of how immigration law and real estate law intertwine and relate to each other. Appreciate it. And again, this is all very general, educational. We're just giving people what are the red flags, what to watch out for. And if you want specific advice on your situation, on your purchase of real estate, sale, project, definitely speak to an attorney like Stephen Yuniver. The phone number is on the bottom of the screen. Thank you, Stephen. We're going to bring you back with another very important issue, community board, what it does and how community board can help or impede a real estate project. Thank you. Stay tuned.